Peter Waddell is one of the top magicians working today. He is a member of the Inner Magic Circle and a world expert in sleight of hand. But is sleight of hand really the kind of magic that people want to see anymore? That's one of the questions we'll be asking him when he's in the chair today.
Well, I'm from an era where, if you watch TV on a Saturday night, Paul Daniels was on, so the first sort of TV magician I ever saw, first magician I really saw was Paul Daniels, and I was hooked when I saw him. But I think for me, one of the sort of defining moments was watching an American magician called Doug Henning. And Doug Henning was this kind of hippie character who had his own TV specials in the States. And he performed a really simple but not easy trick with 4 coins, 4 silver dollars, and I remember watching that and thinking, I have no idea how he did that, and I want to learn. And that's how I got started, really, I suppose. So a mix between Paul Daniels, who I now know, and Doug Henning. There's a lot of magicians who would tell you that magic and psychology, there is psychology in magic, yes, so they're right in saying that. What can it tell you about human behaviour? In my opinion, it tells you that all people are essentially the same, deep down. We all wear different kind of clothes or outward appearances, but ultimately we're all the same. We're all wired very similarly, and we all have similar expectations, and so that's why magic works and is quite universal. So what does it tell us? It tells us we're all the same. Things go wrong, and if I'd been asked what I did sort of 6-7 years ago, I would have told you that I panicked, but in true swan style, so the legs would have been kicking and I would have been gliding smoothly across the lake. But now I do tend to just admit that I've gone wrong. If I can't see any way out of a situation when I'm performing, if something has gone horribly wrong, for example, if I've dropped something that shouldn't have been exposed for another 3 or 4 minutes within the act, and that's happened many times, then I just admit it and own up, and it adds an element of human to the act, so people kind of engage with you at that level. Then they realise you are. If you're playing a character of a magician and you're being a magician and you're doing extraordinary things, if you become an ordinary person in their eyes and you're doing extraordinary things, and you become an ordinary person by admitting your failures, if you become that ordinary person and you do extraordinary things, and the gap between what they expect from you and what you deliver is bigger, and so the amazement level goes up. So in fact, if you think of jugglers on the street, or any juggler, they'll always drop in order to build tension. So as magicians, you can't really do that deliberately, so what you do is, what I do is, if I go wrong, I'll simply admit that I went wrong. If I think about whether my magic changes the world, I would say it changes it a little bit at a time. If I have the ability, by performing magic to someone, to change their view on how their night's going or their day's been, if I have any way improve their day, then I don't know what the knock-on effects that will be, but in some way I'll be affecting more than just that one person. When I was a street performer years ago in Covent Garden, it was always the idea that you could stop people who didn't know they were going to be part of a crowd and create a crowd, and you just knew you'd had an impact on their day. And as I say, those people, 200, 300 people, then disperse, and maybe they spread a bit of their own kind of energy from what I've done and disperse that around, and maybe it does make a difference. I don't know how big the ripples are, but any difference is a difference, you know. If I didn't do it, it wouldn't happen. Will magic evolve over the next 100 years? The trend at the moment is for magic is really turning. It's kind of gone back. It's not good magic at the moment. Magic is not in a good place, in my opinion, because what's happening now with the sort of YouTube generation is that magic is all about what the Americans call eye candy. So it's all about short, sharp bursts of visual trickery. So it's becoming juggling. Magic is moving more down that line, and effects that happen instantly and very quickly, and what it's losing is the ability to hold people. And so it's kind of MTV generation magic now. And will it evolve? Yeah, I think I think eventually it will come back on itself. And it's starting to a little bit with guys like Darren Brown on TV, where they becoming much more human, focusing more on people and engaging with people and dealing with people. And so it goes in cycles. It's like any performing art. Magic will go in cycles. So this is a trick that anyone can do. Kids love it. You need a bag, 2 hands, and obviously some kids. Oh, you need an egg. It's not a real egg. I'm not stupid. The egg goes into the bag. You can see the egg. There it is. What I'm going to do is make the egg disappear. And no one knows how this is done. Sleight of hand, years of training and self-denial all coming together in this wonderful moment. The egg vanishes from inside the bag. People think it's under the arm, but it's not. Or that one. It's in the bag. Ta-da.
Oh, that Peter, he's good, isn't he?
You always think they're good, Jez.
I do, but that's because we only ever get good guests.
That's very true. He was brilliant. I mean, I'm amazed by the magic. I have no idea how it works.
It's
but
interesting, when you do that, you see, it's not quite the same thing, is it? When he does that, it really is amazing. That's sleight of hand, Ruth. It's good, isn't it? It's like, try it. Yeah, you see? It's just not quite there, is it?
it doesn't work.
It doesn't quite work, but when he does it, it's just, you know, you're playing on his hands, but it's just not the same.
No, yeah, and I think you need a kind of magic in the world, don't you? You need that sleight of hand, that smoke and mirrors. You need that sense of fantasy and magic.
Yeah, you certainly do, and it's quite tough for magicians these days because people are kind of into pressing buttons and looking at stuff on little boxes and stuff. And we quite like magicians, don't we?
We love magicians.
We really love magicians.
In fact, Peter can come back to sit in the chair anytime he
do
wants.
you think he'd want to?
I think he might want to.
I think you're right.
I think that's a wrap, isn't it, Jez?
It's a wrap, Ruth.